Well, absolutely shocking there. An 18-year-old girl, imagine registering when she's just out of class 10th, so that 2 years down the line, she's eligible to be employed in some government job. Joining me live right now from the Hindu studios is, in fact, Mr. Radhakrishnan, the deputy editor of the Hindu. Welcome, sir, to this show. In fact, the figures, sir, point to a very sorry picture. Every decade, right from the 90s to 2000 and 2000 to 2010, in fact, we've seen an exponential rise in the number of educated job seekers registering in these employment exchanges. Sir, on one basis, does it reflect the government's hands-off approach when it comes to employment exchanges, or is it a broader indicator of how public sector companies, of how government companies are faring in this country?
See, at one level, I don't believe that all those registered in employment exchanges are sitting in their homes without a job. Now, even if you are in a public sector enterprise, or if you are in a private company, you will not give that information to the employment exchange. That is the reason for an inordinately huge number of people registered in the unemployment exchange, but at the same time, they will be working somewhere or the other. But every single person in this country wants a government job, and that is what they are looking for, and that is why they remain in the employment exchange. I believe there is a huge discrepancy between the number of people actually unemployed and the number of people really unemployed. This is the real and fictitious thing that we need to look at. And then there is a second thing: the government gives an unemployment dole. For that, you have to prove that you are unemployed, and that dole is not being taken by the entire number of people who are in the unemployment register, which means that a lot of people are employed from the unemployment register itself. From the employment exchange register itself, people have been employed elsewhere. The second thing is that when the employment exchange calls you for some work, it can be enumeration of census, it can be spreading awareness about diphtheria, whooping cough, or whatever. You have to be readily available to do the job. A lot of our people who register in exchanges do so because all their colleagues do after class 10 or class 12, and they are not willing to take up this kind of job, especially women. So what happens? Their priority goes down in the employment exchange. So which means that they really remain in the exchange, not in the live register, because they are not willing to take part in all these activities that the government wants them to take part in, but at the same time they add to the numbers. That's why you have this huge numbers in the employment exchange.
Right, Mr. Radhakrishnan, although given the point here that not everyone who does in fact come to these employment exchanges is actually unemployed, but the very fact that people have been waiting despite registering themselves and despite being eligible for a job, people have been waiting for 2 decades to get even a basic call from the particular job that they've opted for, and because of that, there have been cases of people as young as class 10 pass going and registering themselves and still waiting for 5 years, even though they might not be unemployed. But that gives them a sense of security here to register with the employment exchanges. And the whole fact that the waiting lists are so long clearly seems to be suggesting that not all is well within these employment exchanges. And also there have been reports of, in fact, all the renewals that these people, they don't even get proper acknowledgement slips at these employment exchanges.
That's true. Actually, the problem of computerization, proper computerization of employment exchanges remains a huge challenge, because you don't really know how much are there in the registers and how much are there in the computers. Now, there is a huge, literally a massive effort. Yeah, there is a massive effort on to try and see that this discrepancy is removed. That is, they want to see to it that the numbers who have registered are actually there, and 2, the acknowledgement system, that also the government is working on. Now, these are the 2 things that they can possibly work on. The third thing is about the delay and the number of years that you spend waiting in the exchange register. That cannot be, you really can't do much.
Right.
Now, you should realize that the past 5 years, between 2001 and 2006, there was a freeze on employment.
Right.
It was lifted only after the DMK government came to power.
Right.
And so you had people who are as old as 47 and 49 and 52 gaining their first jobs, first salaries as teachers and all that.
Right, Mr. Radhakrishnan, in fact, if you could hold on there, we've got a caller online. Subha, as I have known, is on the line. Subha, go ahead with your question.
Hello, hi sir.
You'll be answered by Mr. Radhakrishnan there, the deputy editor of the Hindu. Go ahead with your question, Subha.
Hi, good evening, sir. Sir, I've already finished my BCA at MGR University in the year of '86. But like I already, like my dad already registered, and I have the registration number as well. Till date, like I haven't got any reward from them, and I'm still waiting for it. Like when I'm seeing the thing that like people are waiting for years together, but I don't like when I'll get my turn. So when kids like me, like what we have to do for this? Students like us, like we go and register it, and then we wait till the time. And then we don't know how to go about with it. Like we might be waiting and waiting and waiting. And now I've applied my MBA and I also finished it. So like it's almost like 3 years I've registered.
Right. Dr. Radhakrishnan, there's
Ms. Sudha, are you working somewhere or you? Yeah.
Right. Go ahead, sir.
Hello?
No, I just want to check with her if she is working somewhere or is
No,
she
I'm not
just sitting at
anywhere.
home?
I'm not working anywhere.
Okay, there are a lot of people who are like you, who once you register in the employment exchange, think that will somehow crystallize into something good. Now, has the employment exchange called you for any kind of activity,
No,
like say a census,
I haven't got any call from them.
registry?
I haven't got any calls from them. I still have the registration number also. Like if you want me to tell the registration, I can tell you right away. But they haven't called me any time. Like then I'm waiting and waiting, and it's been almost 3 years now. So like whatever youngsters like like us,
That seems to be the common complaint. In fact, Mr. Radhakrishnan, a lot of people who haven't even spoken on camera, those who we spoke to off the record, often complain. Their flayed tempers, growing frustration. In fact, spending a couple of hours there at the employment exchange gives you a sense of the frustration of the kind of people who come there. Like this one, Subha, in fact, who called, who come here with their renewal slips but still get no response. The question here, apart from unemployment, is the responsiveness of those who are supposed to get back to them who register with these exchanges.
Yeah, that's true. The employment exchange in its traditional sense could handle a certain number of applications, but unfortunately as you see, the exchanges have remained from the time soon after independence, and then the population has grown, but the offices themselves have not grown to the extent that we want them to grow. So what has happened is that people like Sudha will not get a response because there is a processing time, and these are all handled by X number of people. Now, I would advise people like Ms. Sudha to look for jobs outside the system.
Right.
We all want a government job, and we all think that's a great thing to do. But the point is that we still have to look for the job outside. There are a lot of job fairs going on. In fact, I don't know where Ms. Sudha is from,
In fact, Mr. Radhakrishnan, we've got another caller here who would in fact like to talk to you. Can you please go ahead? Vinod, as I come to know, Vinod, go ahead. Mr. Radhakrishnan there, the Hindu, will answer your question.
Sir, 3 months before in assembly, the minister was announced that they are given 5-month exemption for the renewal. And last week I came to the exchange, employment exchange, but they are telling till now they are not getting the GO from the government. So when will you get the GO, sir? So for we have to. I lost the renewal. I missed the renewal date last year. So I am waiting for to renewal now.
Okay.
That again.
Okay. Typically what happens in a government order is that there is an announcement in the assembly which is followed by a government order. Sometimes there is a huge delay because you have to work out the modalities as to how to implement what the minister has announced in the assembly. These are all, we have to follow a certain set of rules. The government follows a certain set of rules when it releases an order. I think there is a glitch as to how you will account for people whose registry has elapsed, and how do you make amends to this. Now there is a small problem there, but I believe in another couple of weeks it should be sorted out. You should also remember that most of these ministers were involved in Coimbatore in the organization of the World Tamil Conference. So we lost a lot of time there, and before that the assembly was in session till mid-May. So you didn't really have enough time for officials to work on the government order. But I am very sure you should also remember that every single thing that the DMK government has so far said has come into government orders, but the instances like this are very good that you brought it up. We will certainly convey this to the government. The NDTV Hindu will certainly do that, and we will make sure that the government order to this effect is issued so that people like you will benefit out of it. I hope.
In fact, Mr. Radhakrishnan, there is another caller on the line for you. This seems to be Roy from Mylapore. Roy, go ahead with your question.
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is, considering the circumstances that are prevailing right now, is it right for me? Is the time right for me to go and get registered at employment exchange?
Now, why do you want that? Are you out of a job, or are you looking for a job, or why do you want to register in an exchange?
I've just finished my graduation.
And you still have...
Okay, okay.
The question
You should register in an exchange because, I believe, Mr. Roy, you should register in an exchange because that is the primary criterion for a lot of government jobs. See, you could be a graduate. I'm not too sure as to what your educational qualification is, but the point is that unless you register in an exchange, you cannot be considered for certain categories of jobs. And you should also realize that the government in Tamil Nadu is actually expanding. When governments elsewhere are contracting, government here is expanding. The school education sector is growing, the higher education sector is growing. Because of all of that, the medical education is growing, professional education is growing. Because of all these reasons, you have to register in an exchange if you think you need a government job. That is a very straight answer to your question.
Right. In fact, Roy, that answers your question. We've got another caller on the line. Go ahead. Mr. Radhakrishnan in the Hindu will answer your question. Well, Purvika, if you can hear me there, go ahead with your question, Purvika.
Well, sir, I just have a sister who is physically challenged. And 2 years back after her graduation, she had applied for her job in the employment exchange. I just wanted to know, is there any special quota for the disabled people whereby we can go and get a quicker stuff for us?
In fact, Dr. Radhakrishnan, a very pertinent point here. Till now, in fact, sir, we've got callers who've been able-bodied and are in a situation where they completed graduation, thinking of whether to register or not. Now, if normal people have to wait for so long, what do people who are less advantaged than us, especially as she in fact called up her sister, what do they do?
See, in fact, I think the handicapped in a lot of ways are unlucky. They live with the problem is that the environment in a city like Chennai or even outside in Tamil Nadu is not very conducive for their movement, unlike the West. But fortunately, the Chief Minister himself has taken upon himself to make sure that at least in some ways he makes the lives of these people better. So there is a 3% reservation in every single government department. They have to employ handicapped people. The degree of handicap is an issue. So if you are slightly handicapped, you may not get that opportunity. You have to be handicapped to a certain extent to avail of that opportunity. And every single government department is supposed to do this. So the moment you register an employment exchange, all that you require to be doing is that you have to make sure that the handicap column is filled properly. And number two, you have to watch out for all the government advertisements that come. It is rightfully your job. And I am very sure that there are not enough handicapped people to fill the vacancies that we have in government right now.
Right. In fact, Mr. Radhakrishnan, thanks a lot for joining us there from the Hindu studios. We've got a lot of callers lined up today, but we are a bit short of time. But Mr. Radhakrishnan, thanks a lot for answering the queries. The bottom line here clearly seems to be there are many people who would love to go to employment exchanges, get themselves that government job everyone yearns for. But the situation on the ground is that there are waiting lists not only for able-bodied people, for minorities, as well as the disadvantaged, the ones who are physically handicapped. They too have been forced to get entangled in this web of frustration that, of course, one gets caught on when you enter the premises of that employment exchange in Chennai. On this note, we slip into a short break. Coming up on the other side of this very short break, get ready for more power cuts in the city. All you people in Chennai, get ready for a possible blackout of these stocks. Stay with us.